The final moments of Brad Arnold marked the quiet ending of a life that had touched millions through music, honesty, and human connection. When news of his death reached the public, it did not arrive with chaos or disbelief. Instead, it settled like a heavy stillness. Fans around the world paused, not because they were shocked, but because they understood what had been lost. Brad Arnold, the co-founder and lead singer of Three Doors Down, passed away on February 7, 2026. He was only 47 years old. Brad Arnold died peacefully after a long and difficult battle with advanced-stage clear cell renal carcinoma, a form of kidney cancer that had spread to his lungs. His bandmates confirmed that he was surrounded by loved ones in his final moments, including his wife Jennifer. There were no dramatic scenes, no public spectacle, and no chaos. Those closest to him described his passing as calm, quiet, and filled with love. For someone whose music had always spoken softly but deeply, that ending felt painfully fitting. Brad Arnold lived much of his life in the public eye, yet the way he connected with people always felt personal. His voice carried emotion without forcing it. His lyrics spoke to everyday struggles, quiet hope, faith, and resilience. His songs did not shout for attention. They stayed with people, sometimes for years, becoming part of their own life stories. That is why his death felt personal to so many. It felt like losing someone who had been there during hard nights, long drives, and silent moments of reflection. Born on September 27, 1978, in Escatawpa, Mississippi, Brad Arnold grew up far from the music industry's major centers. There were no expectations of fame. What existed instead was curiosity, creativity, and a love for music. Along with his friends Todd Harrell and Matt Roberts, Arnold helped form Three Doors Down. In the early days, he played drums while also handling lead vocals, shaping the band's sound from the very beginning. One of the most famous moments in modern rock history happened in an ordinary place. As a teenager sitting in high school algebra class, Brad Arnold began tapping a rhythm on his desk. That rhythm became the foundation for the song Kryptonite. At the time, it was just an idea. Years later, it would become one of the most recognizable rock songs of its generation. When Kryptonite was released in 2000, it changed everything. The song resonated across generations, blending emotional honesty with accessible post-grunge rock. It did not rely on excess. It relied on connection. That balance became the heart of Arnold's songwriting. Between 2000 and 2016, Three Doors Down released 6 studio albums. Songs like Here Without You, When I'm Gone, and It's Not My Time carried themes of loss, perseverance, love, and survival. The band never chased trends. Instead, they stayed rooted in guitar-driven melodies and lyrics that felt familiar and real. That approach allowed their music to age with their audience rather than be left behind by time. Brad Arnold's life, however, was not defined only by success. He spoke openly about his personal struggles, especially his battle with alcoholism. In 2014, he began his journey into sobriety. At that time, he reached out to country music legend Charlie Daniels, whom he had met during a songwriting session. Daniels encouraged him to seek rehabilitation in Nashville. Arnold followed that advice, and sobriety became one of the most important turning points of his life. In later interviews, Brad Arnold described how alcohol once helped him manage anxiety before performances and cope with loneliness on the road. Over time, he realized it was taking far more than it gave. Walking away from drinking brought clarity, stability, and peace. In a 2023 interview, he said, "There's not one aspect of my life that isn't better due to my sobriety." That statement reflected growth, honesty, and self-awareness. It also helped countless fans who were struggling with similar battles. Faith also became a deeply important part of Arnold's life. In January 2025, during an interview on the Culture and Christianity podcast with Pastor Alan Jackson, Arnold shared a powerful experience. He recalled hearing Jesus say, "I want you to tell them that I love them this summer," before one of the band's tours. For Arnold, music and faith were closely connected. Not as performance, but as purpose. Beyond music, Brad Arnold believed in giving back. In 2004, he and the band launched the Better Life Foundation. Its mission was simple but meaningful: to improve the lives of children and young adults. The foundation raised money for organizations supporting communities in need. One of its main fundraising efforts was a special concert weekend that brought together major artists and fans for a shared cause. For Arnold, success carried responsibility, and the foundation became part of how he understood his role in the world. In May 2025, Brad Arnold shared difficult news with fans. In a calm and honest video, he revealed that he had been diagnosed with advanced kidney cancer that had spread to his lung. He did not dramatize his condition. Instead, he spoke with gratitude, faith, and acceptance. Because of his illness, Three Doors Down made the decision to cancel their 2026 summer tour. The choice reflected unity and respect for Arnold's health. His bandmates stood by him without hesitation. When Brad Arnold passed away, his bandmates released a statement honoring not only his talent, but his character. They spoke of his humility, faith, and love for those around him. They emphasized that his music created moments of connection that would live on beyond the stage. Fans around the world shared similar feelings, posting memories of how his songs had carried them through some of their hardest and most meaningful moments. Among the many reactions to Brad Arnold's death, one moment stood out for its quiet sincerity. During a recent Instagram live session, global pop icon Justin Bieber was interacting with fans when viewers asked if he had anything to say about Brad Arnold's passing. The question caught him off guard. His response was not prepared. It was raw and emotional. Justin Bieber visibly paused before speaking. He shared that Brad Arnold had been like an older brother figure to him. While the two had not collaborated professionally very often, Bieber described their relationship as genuine and respectful. He spoke about the kindness and support Brad had shown him over the years, especially during moments when Bieber himself was facing intense public pressure. Justin thanked Brad Arnold for his encouragement and humanity. He told viewers that Brad's influence went far beyond music. He reminded fans that an artist's true legacy lives on through their songs, their impact, and the way they make people feel. He encouraged everyone watching to keep Brad and his family in their thoughts and prayers. That moment resonated deeply because it revealed something important. Behind the fame, competition, and industry pressures, there are real human relationships. Brad Arnold's influence crossed genres and generations. A rock singer from Mississippi had quietly become a source of guidance and respect for a global pop star. That connection spoke volumes about the kind of person Brad Arnold was. Justin Bieber's reaction also reminded audiences that the entertainment industry is built not only on talent, but on human connection. Artists impact lives not just through charts or awards, but through kindness, mentorship, and presence. Brad Arnold's life embodied that truth. As fans continue to process his passing, many have naturally begun asking about his final journey and how he will be honored. There has been growing interest in funeral arrangements and public memorials. At this time, it is important to clarify the facts clearly and responsibly. No official funeral details or public memorial updates have been released. Brad Arnold's family and representatives have not announced any confirmed information regarding services, ceremonies, or public gatherings. Any claims circulating online about specific funeral plans should be treated with caution until official statements are made. What is confirmed is that Brad Arnold passed peacefully, surrounded by loved ones. Brad Arnold's legacy does not depend on ceremony alone. It lives in songs that continue to reach listeners across generations. It lives in his honesty about struggle and recovery. It lives in his faith, expressed quietly and sincerely. And it lives in the work of the Better Life Foundation, which continues to make a difference in the lives of children and communities. His final journey is not defined only by his death, but by how he lived. A life shaped by creativity, resilience, humility, and service. Brad Arnold helped redefine mainstream rock by making it human, by allowing vulnerability into the sound, and by trusting listeners to find their own stories within his music. As fans wait for further updates, what remains clear is this: Brad Arnold is remembered not just as a musician, but as a man who used his voice, his platform, and his life to connect, to heal, and to serve. His music continues. His influence remains. and his story lives on in every person who ever pressed play and felt understood.